Virgo, how are you? We're going to get started on your love reading for the month of October. Now, I know I'm uploading this reading kind of late this month of October. I apologize about that, but do know that this reading is good for whenever it is that you listen to it. And it's not only good for the month of October, it's good for even further than that, a month out, for example. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Virgo, so happy to be here with you guys. I actually like the energy that I'm feeling for ya. It's energizing. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What deck should I use for you? Let's use this one over here, which is different, okay, because I've been choosing one deck for like 3 signs. I've been doing like 3 signs in a bunch, and I just got through doing Aquarius, and I have Virgo and Capricorn to finish up this love series for October. Those are the signs that I'm left with. And well, if I continue with like what I've been doing, I would be using the Edgar Allan Poe for you, Virgo and Capricorn as well. But for whatever reason, I'm being drawn to this other deck over here. And then like now, okay, this one's kind of like pulling me in, but not necessarily in a good way. It's kind of like it's tugging at my throat. It's tugging at my throat, and I don't like that. All right, let's see. Let's see, tugging at my throat. That's not a throat, but that's their lips, which we could connect to, you know, the throat chakra. Let's see, maybe the throat chakra is a thing. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is your love reading for the month of October, or for whenever it is that you find yourself listening to this, okay? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. This is your love reading, my dear. Let's begin by taking a look at the overall big picture here, which some of you may be able to see, and some of you not so much. So let's see. We have we have the 9 of Cups, which goes with like what I just said. Some of you may be able to see it, some of you may not, and some of you are just stumbling upon it. There is a cave, which is very interesting. So what I really like about today is the way that I'm being shown things. So Aquarius's reading was very highly spiritual in nature. It was it was mostly, the perspective there was a spiritual, symbolic perspective. And I'm kind of getting the same feel for you, because look, here we have a cave, and the cave, okay, specifically the opening of a cave, okay, like if you see this while you're meditating, okay, or like if you're taking, yeah, you're meditating and you see yourself like entering a cave, it's representative of entering your subconscious mind. It's the very edge of it at that. And from my experience, okay, with this, so you're going to have that kind of reading too. This is where I turn into Walter Mercado. Do you guys know who that is? Walter Mercado. There's like a meme out there that that is so memorable to me. Where for those of you that don't know who Walter Mercado is, he is a very famous Latin astrologer, and he was very flamboyant in the way that he dressed. Let me show you guys. And that's why he really is famous, because, you know, just who he was, his personality, his character. Let me show you. this is him, just so you know, you get an idea. This is who I'm turning into right now. This is Walter Mercado, okay? Which just pretty much means that I'm about to get real metaphysical with y'all. Okay? That's Walter Mercado right there. Really famous mystic astrologer. May he rest in peace. So, 9, okay, this hermit. Let me take all of this in. There is something here right at the very edge of your subconscious, okay, that is very important, that is really going to illuminate you. For many of you, this is the answer. Here lies the answer it is that you've been looking for. Now, for many of you, you stored this here. We're dealing with a situation where you stored something there because you see that lantern? Somebody put it there. So from my experience, okay, why this happens? Like why it is, it's like what prompted your spirit, for example, to go to this part, we could say, of your consciousness, of your psyche, to store something there. What is it that inspired you? What is it that caused you, or you know, to do this? So this is like a stored memory. For many of you, this is as well something that you yourself purposely, okay, when you were a child, hid. This is something about a part of you. For many of you, it's a gift, okay, a gift, a certain ability, okay. It's for many of you, this is also something that is connected, for example, to like a past life, like a particular gift it is that you have, okay, that you're really good at in another lifetime, okay. I'm hearing, and you're still the same soul. So that, okay, that gift, that ability is there, but it's just like hidden. You have to go digging for it. That's what I'm getting. And it's at the very edge of your subconscious, okay? And there's a reason for that. There's some things that are so deeply buried that they're just, it's almost nearly impossible to get. It's like you have to, in a sense, like leave the body in order to, you have to leave your body, like die, and then come back to access these things that are like, if you could think about the cave, and it's like you're you're so far away from the entrance. You're like all the way up in there. And that happens a lot, like, you know, there's people who pass away and then they come back. And for example, I've heard about this where somebody comes back speaking a whole different language, and it's like, what the hell happened? I didn't even know how to speak this language, and now I'm doing this or that. But this is right at the very edge, which means that you don't have to, die to access it. But you do have to go deep, deep into your subconscious mind to find it. Okay, let's see. The Hermit as well, this is a meditative state. This is a spiritual journey. So I'm connecting with those of you that are on a spiritual journey, okay? And you are stumbling upon something here that is going to be incredibly illuminating, okay? It's a vital part of you, okay? It's part, I'm hearing, of your energetic essence. It's part of you, and it's something that's been very hidden. We have the Nine of Wands, and you see how there's like burning hands. For many of you, it's like the closer you get to this, it feels like it's symbolically, think about it, it's like it's burning you. So look at this. The Nine of Wands, okay, is representative of an energy that you're hesitant. It's like there's there's a sense of protectiveness, okay, there, where you know, I have to protect myself here. Okay, I'm getting so many things. So it's almost like something you can't touch. And it's not that you can't touch it, you can't access it, okay? It's just that it feels that way because of because of how powerful, okay, it is. And that is very true, guys. There's some energies, okay, that are good, okay? They're good energies, okay? But that you have to take in doses. That happens a lot when we're going through an awakening, okay? We have a lot of high vibrational energies that are entering our body, and our body starts to ache. Our head, for example, you might start experiencing headaches. So, you know, that's one example there. So that's kind of like what we have here. You're trying to access something that your body, you know, needs to work itself up to. You know, we could, you know, a lot of us are under the impression that because something's good, we could just kind of like take it all at once, right? But that's not necessarily the case. For many of you, you've been prepping, okay, yourself. You've been prepping yourself to integrate this part of you. And for many of you, you've been trying to like grab it, okay? You've been seeking this, trying to integrate this part of you into yourself, but it's been like hurting you. And for many of you, because of the pain that you've experienced, I'm hearing in your body. Now, for others of you, I'm also getting that, you know, this is not even about you trying to integrate this like immediately. I'm hearing it's just like the process. I'm hearing for many of you, you don't even really you're not even thinking, oh, I'm doing this is too fast. I'm doing this too quickly. It's not even about how fast it is that you're going or how quickly you're doing this, okay? But I'm hearing it's just the nature of what it is that we have here. This is this energy has been slowly. You've slowly been integrating it. I mean, and again, it's just this kind of energy. It needs to be integrated slowly. I'm hearing because many of you could go into shock. You could go into shock is what I heard. And what I mean by going into shock is that this, okay, particular energy, okay, it can have a very strong impact on your consciousness. And it has the potential of really creating a major change, okay, in your waking life, but not necessarily in a good way, but not necessarily in a bad way either. Let's see. We have the Ace of Swords, and then we have the Chariot. Okay, so the Ace of Swords, just as I was talking about consciousness, you know, that Ace of Swords, I connect with this frontal lobe here. I mean, you guys can really, I'm hearing you run the risk of developing migraines. That's what kind of situation we have here. You run the risk of developing some sort of like aversion or some sort of tic, some sort of, what is it? Disorder of some sort of this energy is just integrated very quickly. That's what I'm getting. Ace of Swords. And look at that. Do you see how there's a hand that's like going like, it's like telling that light there, orb, like, come. I'm hearing this, okay, also has the potential to blind you. Absolutely. Look, blind you, Two of Swords, which is a block. So think about it like this. It's like when there's a bright light in front of you, it blinds you for a while. And I'm hearing, and we need to avoid that. That is something that needs to be avoided. I'm hearing, because that blindness, okay, is not going to go away immediately. I'm hearing, and what happens, okay, during that moment of blindness, okay, you become very vulnerable and susceptible to a lot of lower energies, and that is something that is definitely should be avoided. Now here we have the Chariot. What's this Chariot about? To me, I feel like this Chariot is just advising you guys to continue moving forward, to not be deterred by any symptoms it is that you are experiencing at this time. I feel like you're being divinely guided with this Hermit. With this Hermit, you're being divinely guided, which means there is spirit, okay? Your spiritual team, okay, is guiding you through this, which means that it's all happening in divine timing. And with the Chariot, I feel like the advice it is that we have, or that I have for you this time with this Chariot, is that there's going to be a lot of energies around you that are going to be pulling you this way and that way, which can potentially drift you off this path for a little bit because of what you're experiencing, which for many of you, you could be interpreting as something negative, or, you know, it's just your body, you know, you feel like, okay, I can't take this. And that's, this is very true when it comes to the spiritual path, guys. Okay, as you work, you know, through certain energies. If you could think about yourself as being like all these layers and dimensions, okay? And when you go on a spiritual journey, when you're on the spiritual path, you're tapping into every one of these layers, okay? And we could think about these layers as just like different, it's you, it's your existence on all these different dimensions and realities, and yeah, absolutely, incarnations and all of that. And you're working through those, you're working through that, okay? And the further up you go, okay, you would think, right, the higher up you go, the easier it feels, but not necessarily so. Going up, I'm hearing, towards the light, it could definitely hurt your body, especially, okay, if we're dealing with, you have a lot of blocks, you have a lot of blocking plates, for example. There's a lot of things in your energetic field, okay, that cause, you know, these symptoms. I'm hearing there's cords, there's attachments here, okay, that you're working through. For those of you, I recommend that you start learning about the auric field, okay, and the type of things that go wrong there, okay. Cords, negative attachments. Do you see how there's like rope there? Blocks as well, you see? I say block because it's like this person's hands are tied, which are not allowing them to perform or do something, right? Limitations and restrictions, again, in the form of I'm hearing that knots as well in the energy field. Yeah, hooks as well. The hooks, you see how the hands are like that? There's just, you know, holes. There's all kinds of things, guys, that you are working through, okay? Let's continue. Interesting reading. I like it. I like it. Interesting. I like this bunch. It's you, Virgo, Capricorn, and Aquarius that ended up in this bunch here. We have the Four of Swords, We have the Sun card. Look at the Sun card here. You see how the hands are going like that, and there's that orb. There's that orb. Here we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords, guys, is about it's a card of healing. It's a card of rest. So for many of you, it's very important that you are getting enough rest. It's very important that you're getting enough sleep. It's very important that you are meditating. Okay, the Four of Swords, it's a meditation card. And it's important for you to do this because there's you need to really recuperate from all of the energetic work, okay, that you're doing at this time. Your body, okay, is doing doing a whole lot at this time, and I'm getting that for some of you. You might be you know, feeling bad about this because you might be interpreting, you know, translating this as something bad. I'm hearing you're not weak, okay? You're not going slow, or you're not doing anything wrong. Absolutely not. That's not what's going on here. You're divinely guided, so do know that you're doing everything the way that you're supposed to, because that's the whole thing about being divinely guided, right? It's like you're not going to be, I don't want to say be allowed, right, but to do something wrong, but the path here is paved for you, okay? And with the Sun card, I feel like that is one of the very main things that is wrong, we could say, with you at this time. That you are not taking the time to replenish your body, replenish your mind, okay? With the Four of Swords, and then we have this Sun card. For many of you is, you know, go out, okay, meditate out in the sun, allowing the sun to hit you, your skin. Now, it doesn't have to be for a long time, but the sun is really going to energize you. Absolutely. Start eating more fresh fruits, okay? Fresh foods. I'm not saying eat a salad in every meal, right? But, you know, what I like to do is, like, I'd like to make myself a shake. And I'll put all kinds of berries or, you know, just fruits in there. And that's how I, you know, add fresh fruits, like fresh food to my diet. I recommend a self-care, okay? A self-care routine for you guys. Absolutely. There needs to be a daily, okay, daily self-care routine. And that's part of the spiritual journey, guys. That's that's been my experience. It's part of the spiritual path and entails integrating a self-care practice into your daily life. The Sun card. Yoga, meditation, chanting, affirmations, bath. What else is there? There's so many things that you can do, okay, to replenish yourself, okay? So integrating, that's what you need to do here with this Sun card. That is really, really, I'm hearing, going to make you feel better. We have the Six of Wands, which is victory, is success, is triumph. For many of you, look, that's all you have. That's all you have to do. It's easier said than done. Self-care is not easy. That means putting yourself first. Oh, for me, my goodness, that was just the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing. I got incredibly sick. I've been doing this work professionally for about close to 4 years, and just naturally, I'm a number 9 life path, which is the Hermit in the tarot. And number 9 life paths are very charitable. They're very giving, which, if you can imagine, it makes them susceptible to a lot of like energy and vampires and parasites, because it's just part of who we are. You're naturally very giving people, and it without even knowing, I didn't even know that this was like something I was doing. I didn't even know it was a problem or an issue. But I ended up getting incredibly sick for a while, and I would sit there seriously like, Spirit, can you tell me what's wrong with me? Like, I'm feeling sick, and I'm feeling so energetically drained, by this and that. And it's like the answer's right there in front of me. I need to start taking better care of myself. And that really takes it holds you responsible, accountable. And what I do now is, before I even do work, I have to do my self-care routine. And it's something that I've been doing for months now, and I am recovering. I feel so much better. And it was very tedious, in the beginning. Like, why do I have to do all of this? And it felt like homework. It felt like just an extra job that I was doing on top of everything else. And it really frustrated me, and it made me angry of like, why do I have to do this? And, after, like 3 months or so, I really started to feel the difference in my body, and I started to progress spiritually, expand my consciousness in a speed that was a lot faster. And I started to progress spiritually in a beautiful way, and my body started to change energetically, and it's just started to feel really good. And then now I'm hooked. Now it's like my self-care routine, which takes about it just depending on what the day, and how I'm doing energetically, it can go on sometimes for over 2 hours, where I do all kinds of I integrate different spiritual practices. And that's like my life now. Every day there's like time for spiritual practice, at least a couple of hours, and that's just part of my day. And before, I'm telling you, it just seemed like such a burden, and now it's like I cannot see myself without it, and it's improved my life tremendously. The symptoms it is that I was having as well. And I can really relate, for those of you that are connecting with this reading because of the work that I do. So if you could think about it like this, you're doing spiritual work, on yourself, which is really taking a lot of energy from you. And then on top of that, you're in this matrix, So you are constantly in contact with lower energies, people who zap your energy, especially if you have this kind of energy around you, this light that is there that you're like slowly integrating into your field. Think about it like this: you can't see it here, but in this other realm, where we're able to see the things that we're unable to see here, it's the big orb light. So you're going to be attracting a lot of parasitic, a lot of vampiric type of energies that are going to psychically attack you. It just means that they're going to drain you even more. So it's like, for those of you that I'm connecting with, it's like you need to be like, we could say your protection game, right, needs to be like off the charts. So I highly recommend protection, like a spiritual protection. There's so many things that you can do. Just go to Google, guys. I could sit here and tell you it's just all so many ways to do it, but it just depends on what you resonate with. I highly recommend lonerwolf.com. go to their chakra healing. Okay, go to the chakra healing. So Google this, lonerwolf.com chakra healing, and it's going to take you to that page. Don't go to lonerwolf.com because it's going to take you to the main page and you're going to get lost because there's just so much content there. So it's easier to just Google it this way because it's going to give you the exact page it is that you need to go to, the chakra page. And that website there has a lot of really good advice, content, guys, about a spiritual practice. Specifically, I recommend chakra healing for every chakra. And that website there, guys, is going to give you a list of things that you could do for each chakra, okay? That's all you guys need, okay? We could think about it like this. There's different ways that we could look at this. It's a self-care routine. We have the Death card. We have the 10 of Coins reversed. And we have the 8 of Wands reversed. Guys, you need to you have to really recuperate. It's like you guys are like dead. And it's interesting because I think I was telling you guys about like and then here we have the Tower. Jeez. For many of you, you know, this Death card, many of you could be doing all of this and at the same time dealing with a major, you know, change in your life that is difficult. I'm hearing for many of you this here, okay, you're going through all of this while having to experience a very big loss. This could be a relationship, a connection, just something going on in your life, which, you know, could be making this hard for you guys. Now, I feel like this Death card here, okay, let me get one more card. It could certainly be some sort of attachment here that you have. We have the World card, and we have a Road, and then here we have the Knight of Swords, and here we have the Strength card. The World card. So the World card, I'm seeing this as like it's closure, okay? There's the Death, and then the World card. There is something, okay? This is a love reading, right? There's a relationship, a person here. There's a relationship here that you're having to come to terms with, release, and then with the Tower, yeah, with, I thought that, oh yeah, that's the Tower. I'm like, that's the, no, that's the World card. And with this World card, I feel like that is something that you're wrapping up. In fact, I feel like for many of you, this is something that you've wrapped up to. Now, this is something with this Knight of Swords, okay, that you guys have already like cut the cord. You've cut this cord. For many of you, this is a cord that you have to cut. You have to cut a cord here with somebody. I'm hearing, for those of you, okay, when this happens, there is a strong, you feel, it feels almost impossible for you to release somebody. It's like you've already done everything it is that you can to release them, but they're still like, they're pulling. Now this energy, okay, with the string, was it in the beginning of your reading that I felt like my throat chakra was being pulled or something? So this kind of energy, okay, here, it pulls at you like this. It like literally feels, okay, depending on how sensitive it is that you are. Now you can become more sensitive to these energies, okay? Again, spiritual practice, self-care, okay? Listening and you'll become more sensitive, okay? You'll just desensitize. It's all about desensitizing yourself. Actually, I'm not even going to go into that, but I'll just throw it out there, you know, since since I do this kind of work, I know a lot about it, okay? So there's a lot of things that you could do to desensitize yourself, okay? Like the whole chakra healing, doing the things on that list, as well as the things that you have to eliminate things from your environment, certain people, absolutely. In the beginning, just so that you kind of have to go into hermit mode in the beginning so that you can just get acquainted with your own energy and what it is that you feel like. and then slowly start integrating things back, and you'll start noticing. For example, that's one of the ways, not the only way. For many of you, you have to do several things, you know, to really desensitize yourself to a level like where you're able to feel these things like I do. One of the things that I did is I went vegan, and absolutely the food 100% makes a tremendous, tremendous difference, guys. It really desensitizes you. One of the things, again, is not the only thing I did. There's several things that I had to change, okay? For many of you, there's a lot of changes that you have to make with the death card. You know, the progress it is that you're trying to make, you're trying to advance spiritually. You have to release and go absolutely through a transformation. There's a lot of light here, okay, that is making its way to you, okay? Slowly, slowly, slowly. I'm here because for many of you, the vessel it is that you have there's a lot of work that needs to be done to it, okay? So yeah, death, and then this world card. There's closure here, okay? There's closure. This is like this is a whole, like a new beginning, but it's almost like a whole new life. This is like a whole new life. Now, I feel like there's an attachment here, a cord. I was telling you guys that you could literally, okay, when I find these cords on people, okay, it feels like something's tugging at your throat chakra. It feels like it's tugging at you, like really, it does. I'm not even kidding. You can get to that point where you feel these things tugging at you. You really do feel it. For many of you, you're having to cut that. That's a very deep cord too. So if you could think about your auric field, it's like way up in there, okay, in your aura. You see, that's why the scissors have blood on them. Now with the 10 of Pentacles and the 8 of Wands, this is not allowing you, okay, there's a cord, negative cord here that you have to a particular person that you need to cut. How do you do that? Meditation is one way. Shamanic cleansing, going to a shaman that is able to identify this cord and perform some sort of shamanic work to heal you from that, remove that from you. Now, this is not just anybody, okay? You need to go to you need to go to somebody. Well, of course, you need to go to somebody that you can trust, but just not anybody can do this, okay? But you can absolutely, you know, through meditation, through journeying, several cases, that's not one time, okay? It takes you getting acquainted, identifying these things, and then energetically, and for many of you, you're being divinely guided. Allow yourself to learn, okay, to sit through these things, to try. I'm hearing different things. When you get acquainted, okay, visualize this. Visualize yourself going into a particular chakra. And depending on what that chakra is, I mean, just use your imagination. Maybe, you know, you're entering your heart chakra, okay? Picture a green door, okay, during a meditation, and then just, it's like a video game, okay? Just enter and just kind of take a look around like it's a game that you're just playing for the first time. Let me go look. And pay attention to what you feel and where and how that thing manifests in your mind's eye. There's a cord there. Look out for a cord. That's what they look like. That's why they're called cords, because people that are able to see, okay, these realms, that's what this type of energy link manifests as. It's going to look like a string of some sort. Now, for many of you, visualize yourself, okay, cutting this thing. Get creative. Maybe there's scissors, maybe you have, I don't know, maybe you burn it, or you know, and you're gonna see what works there. You might come back and it might be there again. It might be heavily resistant. You might have to do it several times, but as you continue doing this, okay, it debilitates that energy. I'm hearing, and sooner or later, it's just going to pop, dissolve. Here we have the 8 of Wands. This has not been allowing you to move forward. 10 of Pentacles reversed. I feel like it has even been creating, could be even like abundance blocks. it's been sapping your energy as well, and it also has been preventing you from finding a stable commitment. Let's see. So that's like, you know, I feel like your reading was just kind of like, hey Virgo, there's these things, this is what you have to, you know, work through, you know, energetically. There's a lot of energetic work that, you know, you're having to do. And that is really going to solve your problems. Let's see, let's grab an oracle card for you guys. Let's grab this one. Let's grab this deck. Oracle of Shadows and Light. I'm not sure if I told you guys at the beginning, but the oracle, all the decks that I have on my table, the tarot decks and the oracle decks, they're all Halloween and Halloween horror inspired decks. And I'm using this one for you, Oracle of Shadows and Light, because of the light aspect, and the title reminds me of your reading. All right, let's see. Virgo. No. We have 3 witchy sisters, the power of 3. Interesting. The power of 3. The 3 witchy sisters. For many of you, I'm getting that there is something here. Yeah, look, and then here we have this card, which reminds me of, it reminds me of a shaman because of the egg that's there. And it says ancient wisdom. And the witchy sisters, the power of 3. So think of, you know, these witches here, where they have a string. You've seen them. You know who they are. I've seen them like they have a, I'm visualizing one of them right now, like with a string, and they're cutting it. So it goes with what I'm telling you about that cord. The 3 witchy sisters. There's a cord here that you guys are having to cut. Now, for many of you, you might have to use some sort of, for many of them here, there could be like a binding, you know, spell here, okay, that you can, and that's another, okay, how do you get rid of, I'm a big believer of attacking a problem in many ways, okay? Not just trying one thing. It's almost like you go at it with a bang. It's like you become that tower. You wanna create that effect. So for many of you, I recommend, doing shamanic cleansings. I recommend that you do, you know, some sort of spell work here that specifically is meant to break, okay, some sort of binding spell, okay, here. Some sort of negative attachment, which you could certainly do through some sort of magic. Absolutely. Candle magic, for example, which is just energy, okay? That it's just energy. You use your own energy here, and you perform some sort of ritual. It's kind of like a bath. You know, you take a bath and you put your intention and you cleanse through that. It's the same thing. It's just using different elements. I recommend that you guys do that, okay? I recommend cleansing, okay, here. I recommend doing this. And when you do it, I'm hearing use the cosmic law of 3 times 3. I'm hearing for many of you, you might have to reverse, okay, something here. All right, one more card. And here we have ancient wisdom. So this ancient wisdom to me is just talking about like the occult, is talking about, especially with this power of 3, and just like your reading, it just gives me the vibe of like ancient healing practices. Okay, so I'm hearing try different things all at once in a bunch is really going to help you, okay? Here we have Angel de los Muertos. It says transitions to the spirit realm. Now, this is, okay, for a very selective few of you, okay, is what I'm getting. I'm getting that there could be some sort of like brujeria and santeria specifically, which is a form of black magic here. Spell work. You see that? It says, it just says angels of the dead. Okay, and this specifically, okay, there's different, for many of you, this could be something that you need to break aside from everything you're going, you know, all this other stuff that you have to do. I'm hearing there's one very big thing in your energetic field, okay, and for many of you, it could be, I'm getting that for many of you, absolutely, with this is specifically brujeria and santeria. Transitions to the spirit realm. It's just what I'm getting with this. All of these cards are screaming that, look, the three witches. I'm telling you, these three witches, you've seen them in movies, okay? They're usually depicted with like getting strings and they're cutting it. And one of them is like death, and it's like every time they cut it, it's like somebody dies. Okay, and we saw that death card there. So for many of you, okay, there's some sort of there's a negative attachment here, guys. For many of you, it was done using this specific method, okay? This is what I have for you, Virgo. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. As always, truly, it was an honor and my pleasure. You guys take care, okay? Bye-bye.